Hare Krishna. Today's March 13th, 2025. It's the appearance day of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Chaitanya. And it's also known as Sri Gaura Purnima, which means the golden full moon. Today's it's the full moon day in the lunar calendar. And Lord Chaitanya, he's known as the golden avatar. We can see like Gaura, golden, probably the English word gold comes from Gaura. Gaura Chandra, golden moon, is a name for Lord Chaitanya, Gaura Chandra. So we'll read from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi-lila, chapter 17, entitled Pastimes of the Lord in His Youth, text 31. So Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi-lila, chapter 17, text 31, and in the process we might read some other verses around that section of chapter 17. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Okay. So the verse we're reading, this text 31 of chapter 17. This is the most well-known, famous verse from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We read it this morning, actually. We read the entire Shikshastakam. And this is text 3 of the Shikshastakam. And it's, yes, I'll just see if we do. Yeah. So, all right. So we'll do one word at a time. Trnad Api Sunichena Tarur Eva Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtanya Sada Hari Trnad Api Sunichena Taruriva Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtanya Sadahari Trnad Api Sunichena Taruriva Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtanya Sadahari Trnad Api Sunichena Taruriva Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtanya Sadahari
Trnad Api Suchainena
Trnad Api Sunichena
Tarurva Suhishuna
Taruriva Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena
Kirtanya Sadahari
Kirtanya Sadahari Trnad Api than downtrodden grass. Sunichena being lower. Taro than a tree. Eva like. Sahishnuna with tolerance. Amanina without being puffed up by false pride. Manadena,
Manadena,
giving respect to all.
giving respect to all.
Kirtanya,
Kirtanya,
to be chanted.
to be chanted.
Sada,
Sada,
always.
always.
Hari,
Hari,
the holy name of the Lord.
the holy name of the Lord.
Translation. One who thinks, and the translation you have might read a little bit differently, but essentially it will be the same. One who thinks himself lower than the grass, who is more tolerant than a tree, and who does not expect personal honor, yet is always prepared to give all respect to others, can very easily always chant the holy name of the Lord. I'll read that translation again. One who thinks himself lower than the grass, who is more tolerant than a tree, and who does not expect personal honor, yet is always prepared to give all respect to others, can very easily always chant the holy name of the Lord. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. The grass is specifically mentioned in this verse because everyone tramples upon it, yet the grass never protests. This example indicates that a spiritual master or leader should not be proud of his position. Being always humbler than an ordinary common man, he should go on preaching the cult of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatimirandasya Gnanjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Upakadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Bandeham Shri Guru Shri Tapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Saganaragnatan Vitamatam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Parijana Sahitan Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatayubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanan Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine. Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahodidal Gaurudai Pushpavantal Chitra Sandal Tamonudal. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, who are like the sun and the moon. They have arisen simultaneously on the horizon of Gaura to dissipate the darkness of ignorance in this age of Kali and to wonderfully bestow benediction upon all. Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupasrupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhaktashaktikam Jayatam Surtal Pangor Mamamanda Madera Kati Matsavasva Padamboja Radhamadhana Mohanao. Glory to the all-merciful Radha, Madhan, Mohan. I am lame and ill-advised, yet they are my directors, and their lotus feet are everything to me. Divyad Vrindaranya Kalpajumara, Srimad Ranagar Singhasanasal, Shrimad Srila Radha Govinda Deva, Pristalibi Sevimani Smarami. In a temple of jewels, in a forest of Vrindavan, beneath a desire tree, Sri Sri Radha and Govinda, served by their most confidential associates, sit upon an effulgent throne. I offer them my respectful obeisances. Shriman Rasa Rambi Vamsivata Tatastita Karsan Venu Staner Gopir Gopinata Shri Stuna. Sri Srila Gopinath, who is the inaugurator of the transcendental mellow of the rasa dance, stands upon the shore at Vamsivant and attracts all the cowherd damsels of Raja with the sound of his celebrated flute. May they all confer upon us their benedictions. Radha Krishna Pranaya. Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikriti Ladini Shaktir Asma Ekatmanav Api Bhuvi Pura Deha Bedham Gatao Tao Chetan Akyam Prakata Aduna Tatvayam Chaikyam Aptam Radha Baba Duti Suvalitam Normi Krishna Swarupa. The loving pastimes of Sri Radha and Krishna are transcendental manifestations of the Lord's internal pleasure-giving potency. These Sri Radha and Krishna, these two transcendental personalities, are one, yet they have separated themselves eternally. These two transcendent personalities have again united in the form of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I offer my obeisances to him who has accepted the complexion and sentiment of Srimati Radharani, although he is Krishna himself. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahayanya. Lord Chaitanya is a combined manifestation of Radha and Krishna. Trnad Api Sunichena Turoi Vasihishna Manina Manadena Kirtania Sadhari. One who thinks himself lower than the grass, who is more tolerant than a tree, and who does not expect personal honor, yet is always prepared to give all respect to others, can very easily always chant the holy name of the Lord. So this is amongst all the verses and all the literatures, this is one of the verses that Srila Prabhupada quotes the most. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he appeared 539 years ago. 539 years ago. It's described so he appeared 539 years ago in the Bhagavatam, which is, of course, eternal, and was revealed about 5,200 years ago. The Bhagavatam describes Krishna Varnam Tisha Krishnam Sangopangasta Parshadam Yadgay Sankirtana Prayer Yajantihi Sumedasa. It predicts the appearance of Lord Chaitanya in the Kali Yuga. Krishna will appear in a non-blackish form. He'll appear in a yellowish golden form. Krishna Varnam, Krishna will appear in a non-blackish form with his confidential associates, and he'll spread Yagiya Sankirtana Priya. He'll spread the Sankirtan movement, and Yajanti Sumedasa. What that text says from the 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam is that those who are intelligent in this age of Kali will embrace the Sankirtan movement. So this is our IQ test. This is our IQ test. To what extent are we can each look at ourselves and see what our IQ is. Because as intelligent people, spiritually intelligent, which is the intelligence that really counts, that's the one that gives value to the string of zeros. Spiritually intelligent people will follow, embrace, participate in the Sankirtan movement in this age of Kali. That's really serving our best interest. Our nature is to be happy, give ourselves to the Sankirtan process, and then we're happy. Sankirtan. And here the last line of this verse, Kirtaniya Sadahari, talks about doing kirtan all the time. Now, kirtan can take the form with like mridanga and kartals and singing. There's the pastime of Srila Prabhupada. He was in one of the small centers that he had established, and in the morning he would rise very early, like 1 a.m., and he would translate his purports, and then during the day, one of his students would type the purports, and it was like a small house. So they came and they asked Prabhupada, "Oh, is this typing disturbing for you?" And Prabhupada said, "Oh, I hear that typing is kirtan." Okay, because this is sound vibration that glorifies Krishna, glorifies Lord Chaitanya. So, so any sound vibration, really any activity that is in service, that is in the spirit of bhakti, that's kirtan. That's a broad range of kirtan. And so Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantas chadri davrata namasyantas chamam bhaktyam nityayuktu pasate. Krishna encourages Arjuna and us to do kirtan. Satatam means all the time. And kirtan to me, kirtan to Krishna. Kirtan actually means to describe. Actually, we can see the English word like to write, kirtan, to write kirtan, to write, to describe, to glorify. And kirtan's meant for God, meant for Krishna, or any actual form of God or name of God. Satatam kirtayantamam yatantas chadritavrata. And to do kirtan with determination, drita, determination, vrata, a vow, a commitment. I mean, even if you just, well, I chant the names of God when I get the feel. That's fine, that's good. And with Krishna and Prabhupada and Lord Chaitanya are saying, and it's fine whenever you feel like it. Hare Krishna, nice. And if we want to make steady progress every day, or at least every week, month, year, steady progress out of suffering in the material ocean towards our original consciousness of the original diamond consciousness of blissful devotional service in the spontaneous play of devotional love with grief. If we want to move substantially towards there and not just kind of like one or two steps forward, two or three steps backward. And now when I'm really suffering, let me chant. Oh, now things are good. Why chant? Why read Bhagavad Gita? With a vow. It means like things are going well, things are not going well. Whatever. I have my Bhakti Yoga sadhana vow. So that's the recommendation. Kirtan all the time. Mm-hmm. And Namasyantas Chama Bhakti. Nityan, again, means all the time. Yeah. Mm. Yes. Mm. Okay. Mm. And so what's key here? So again, so Lord Chaitanya, he appeared also in the statements of Prahlad Maharaj. That goes back like millions of years ago. He's predicting the appearance of Lord Chaitanya. It's right there in the 7th canto of Bhagavatam. At the beginning of Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada includes a summary biography of Lord Chaitanya, like a fuller biography is the 17th volume Chaitanya Charitamrita. But right at the beginning of Bhagavatam, summary biography, because Lord Chaitanya, he embodies the Bhagavatam. He rejuvenated the awareness of the Bhagavatam. He gave the world Bhagavatam, of course, through Srila Prabhupada in English and other languages around the world. And so, I mean, the Krishna consciousness movement is there timelessly. It's there since the time of Bhagavad Gita, and it was kind of dormant. Chanting Hare Krishna is always there. Lord Chaitanya rejuvenated it 500 some years ago. Srila Prabhupada brought it to the West. So we have a debt of unrepayable thanks, and to Lord Chaitanya and to Srila Prabhupada, and we can't repay the debt, and we can endeavor by sincerely reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, chanting Hare Krishna, and following in the line of Lord Chaitanya and Srila Prabhupada, and joyfully sharing, as we discussed on Sunday morning. Nacha tasmad manusheshu kaschane priyakritama bhavita nachame tasmad anya priyataro bhuvi. Krishna says, no one's more dear to me than one who shares this knowledge, this process of chanting Hare Krishna, Bhagavad Gita, who shares this philosophy, knowledge, this process. We want to become dear to Krishna, cultivate Bhakti Yoga, share Krishna consciousness. So to do kirtan always, Lord Chaitanya. Now we can notice this Kirtanya Sadahari. This is the 4th of 4 lines in this text. It's the fourth of 4 lines. Right? Okay. So the first 3 lines are about humility and pridelessness, to think oneself lower than the blade of grass. Grass is trampled on, doesn't protest. More tolerant than a tree, demanding no honor for myself, and prepared to give all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can constantly be in kirtan, chant japa, read Bhagavad Gita, blissfully doing service, because to the extent that I'm not humble, and to the extent that I'm attached to respect and honor, then that's going to disturb and distract me from my kirtan. I'm not getting honored enough. Why is he getting respected more than me? And that's going to be a distraction. So only when I'm just not attached to that. Now this, only then we're free to do kirtan, because then we don't have these material desires pulling us all here and there. It could be gross material desires or more subtle material desires. It is described, actually, desire for profit, adoration, and distinction are subtle forms of sex desire. It's described, subtle forms of sex desire. So adoration, distinction, honor, to be adored and honored. Okay. And so that's going to distract us from blissfully doing kirtan all the time. And so this is not advocating weak passivity. No, this is a formula for strength. Because this is about pulling the weed of our false ego that is the cause of so much misery. Okay, so like Srila Prabhupada embodied this verse, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta embodied this verse, Lord Chaitanya embodied this verse this past Sunday morning. Prabhupada gives the example, like if a teacher might come to the student, the kindergarten, first grade student, take his hand. Okay, here's how you do it. A, B, C. Here's how you write the letters. See? Now, an ignorant person might look and say, look, this so-called teacher doesn't even know how to write the letters. He can hardly do it. Now, the teacher is expert at writing the letters. But so similarly, Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita, become my devotee, abandon everything and surrender to me. Saradaman parityagya mame kam sharanam braja tvam sarva papebhyo mokshaya shami mashucha. Abandon everything and surrender unto me. Okay, so then Krishna appears like 4,500 years later in the form of Lord Chaitanya, and essentially the mission of Lord Chaitanya is, okay, here's how to do it. And like he's sitting with us, here's how A, B, here's how to be a devotee of Krishna. It's Krishna appearing in the form of the perfect devotee, who is Srimati Radharani. It's Krishna appearing in the form of devotee, showing us how to be lower than the grass. So that Lord Chaitanya embodies this verse. And, for example, there's the pastime. Lord Chaitanya, Jagai and Madai, they were very vicious persons, brutal. I mean, they committed all sorts of heinous crimes, rape and murder, just terrible, terrible. And then they were just drunken on the street and menacing and intimidating people and violent. Oh, it was terrible. And then Lord Nityananda and Haridas Thakur, they approached Jagai and Madai. And they approached because their mission was this: look, if we could get these deep demoniac people These are just like the most, the diamond is covered with just the most toxic, fetid feces. Terrible. If we could get them to chant Hare Krishna and become soft-hearted Vaishnavas, then everyone will be amazed at the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. So, and that'll be so wonderful for the Sankirtan movement. So Haridas Thakur and Lord Nityananda, they approached Jagai and Madhe and say, please, please, just chant Hare Krishna. So Jagai and Madhe, they curse and blaspheme and who are you, what are you saying? And they start chasing them. And then and the others, it's quite a pastime. And then Lord Chaitanya, no, Lord Nityananda, Haridas Thakur, they're just, yes, well, you may do whatever you want, but just please chant Hare Krishna. Then Madai gets so angry. He gets so angry. He breaks a pot and throws, he throws the piece of pot at Lord Nityananda. Lord Nityananda was hit and is bleeding. He's injured. And then Nityananda is just like, oh, yeah, well, whatever. Just please chant Hare Krishna. Please chant Hare Krishna. Then Jagai is a bit like Jagai, who's maybe a little bit more soft-hearted than Madai. Jagai's like, this, I've never seen anything like this. You know, like Jagai's beginning to like wonder, well, what are we doing? What are we doing? They're beginning to wake up. Madai is still in a drunken stupor. Anyhow, the word got to Lord Chaitanya. The word got to Lord Chaitanya that that Madai, Jagai and Madai injured Nityananda. So Lord Chaitanya appeared on the scene. Lord Chaitanya appeared on the scene, and he comes with, because even though he's in the form of a humble devotee, but he forgot himself. It's like as Krishna and Vishnu, he has his weapons. So he had this chakra, and he's just like about to slice off the head of Madai. And it's just because he couldn't tolerate that they would be so offensive and injure Nityananda. Okay, so you say, well, how's this Trnad Api Sunichena Blurlan. Okay. Means like, yeah, we'll protect the service. We won't tolerate offenses to devotees. We won't tolerate a violation of the service. And then Lord Nityananda grabbed Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's feet and he said, remember, in this incarnation, you're not killing demons, you're just killing the demoniac mentality. Mm. You're killing the demoniac mentality in their hearts, but it's not like Krishna and Nrsimhadev where you're killing demons. So Lord Chaitanya was just enraged, but Lord Nityananda pacified. And anyhow, as it plays out, Jagai and Madai, they had an astounding transformation, and they became, well, they went through quite some pathetic catharsis, and they did become soft-hearted followers of Lord, and they went to everyone who they committed crimes against and offended. Yeah, and they rectified themselves like that. So this is this. Oh, think oneself lower than the grass. One's more tolerant than a tree. One who's not expect personal honor. This is about like no attachment to our false ego. No attachment to our false ego, and that frees us to simply do service. Right? Krishna, a major theme of Bhagavad Gita, that equilibrium. We continue with steady determination. Krishna says, Machas parshas tukante shitoshta sukadukada agama painu nijas tam stitikshas vabharata. That the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in due course, they're like hot and cold, winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception. One should tolerate them without being disturbed. Happiness, distress, honor, dishonor. So this verse, in one sense, it goes deeper. one thing is like, oh, it's so hot. I can't do my service. It's so hot. It's too cold out. Okay. Or it's like, oh, the finances are going well or not going well, or my health. Oh, just like whatever. But then even more deeper is the subtle body. I've been honored. That's great. I've been dishonored. I'm glorified. I'm insulted. People are saying I'm a terrible person. People are saying I'm useless. I'm stupid. Okay, it's happiness, distress. It's hot. It's cold. It's nice weather. Whatever. So this is about I'm honored. I'm dishonored. I'm not attached. I'm not like I'm gonna I'm going to ruin those who are dishonoring me. We're just not attached to that. My goal is to my goal is to get more money in the bank account. My goal is to get more honor. It's just we're detached from that. We're in the devotional heart. We're cultivating attachment to simply serve Srila Prabhupada. Okay, and then in that, sometimes the weather will be perfect, and sometimes not so good, and sometimes we'll be honored, and sometimes we'll be vilified and criticized, and maybe we're criticized for good reasons. Maybe we're criticized. That's not true. You're just making up lies about me, and sometimes. And sometimes the finances will be really nice, or sometimes not really nice, and sometimes the physical health. It's not like that. It's there, not there. With honor, dishonor, we continue with enthusiasm. Prabhupada defines enthusiasm as endeavor executed with intelligence. We continue with enthusiasm in our service to Krishna under the guidance of Srila Prabhupada, and then we're free to kirtaniya sadahari, to engage in kirtan 24 hours a day, to engage in service 24 hours per day, and so yes, it's so yes. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta, yes, he was he one of his quotes is Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, that's the spiritual master of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta said, one who praises me is my enemy, meaning because then that can get to my head, and I'll become puffed up and arrogant, and it'll take me away from kirtan. So humble. And he was also known as the lion guru. He was often fierce in not in defending his ego. He was fierce in defending truth, defending Siddhanta, if and fierce in kicking out and exposing fiercely any deviation from the actual Siddhanta of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Srila Prabhupada, in his poetry at Boston Harbor on the Jaladuta, 1965, one part of his poetry, he's writing to Krishna. He's writing to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was studying Chaitanya Charitamrita on the cargo ship, and he writes, I have no knowledge and I have no devotion. So like he's really seeing that about himself. I have no knowledge and I have no devotion. But somehow you brought me here, Krishna. So if you want to make me dance, you can make me dance. Make me dance. Make me dance. He says like that. I'm your instrument. I'm your instrument. And then similarly with Srila Prabhupada, so many pastimes where he gets fear. There's one that it was a pandal, a huge tent program, like with 10,000, 20,000 people. Prabhupada would set up these pandal programs in India, Bombay. And he would have his disciples there. Prabhupada would give a talk. And so there was some kirtan and some Indian-bodied fellows were kind of there, like right there in front of the stage. And they were actually like in a very, very vulgar, uh, lusty way. They were kind of like reaching through the, there were some of the Prabhupada's disciples, ladies, on the stage. Everyone was dancing in kirtan, so like they were reaching for them so Prabhupada could see. And Prabhupada actually, you all know what kartals are. He actually came with kartals and started swinging kartals at their head. Okay, so Prabhupada wouldn't tolerate violating the space of the devotees, doing violence to devotees. So that's Trnad Api Sunichena. Arjuna, right? So Arjuna think, I will be humble and tolerant. I'll go to the forest, right? I'll go to the forest. No, that's arrogance. We can think humility means to know my role, know my service, know my position, and surrender to it and fulfill it with enthusiasm. Okay? So this isn't like a superfluous thing. Oh, to be more tolerant than the grand. It means to give up attachment to false ego. When Arjuna picked up his bow and fought fiercely and killed millions, that was humility. He's surrendering. He's surrendering to his service. Sometimes our service might look like, being in the background in silence like that. That might be and sometimes our service might be to be very bold and outspoken and fierce on behalf of Srila Prabhupada. Okay, so I thought maybe before we close, I'm just going to read a few verses in this section so we just kind of see the context here. Again, this is quite an amazing chapter, chapter 17. This chapter, later in the chapter, has the pastime of Lord Chaitanya and the Chamkazi. So I'm starting, I'll just read along here. This is chapter 17, Adi-lila Chaitanya Charitamrita, text 20. After this incident, the Lord ate raw rice given by Suklambar Brahmachari and explained very elaborately the import of the Harinam shloka mentioned in the Brihad Naradiya Purana. So the next shloka, again, you'll hear Prabhupada quote this a lot. You want to learn verses, our verse today, and this verse we're about to read, these are good ones to learn. I mean, every verse in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, every verse is completely transcendental, potently purifying. And there are some verses that Prabhupada quoted a lot, especially for our benefit, that are like that. So this verse, Harinam, Harinam, Harinam eva kevalam kalon, Nasteva, 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 Gatiranyata. In this age of Kali, there is no other means for self-realization than chanting the holy name, chanting the holy name, chanting the holy name of Lord Hari. So this mantra, chanting the names of God, this is the most recommended process for self-realization in this age. Kli Kle Namarupe Krishna Avatar Nama Hoite Hoya Sarva Jagat Nistar. In this age of Kali, the holy name of the Lord, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, is the incarnation of Lord Krishna. Simply by chanting the holy name, one associates with the Lord directly. Anyone who does this is certainly delivered. This verse repeats the word Eva certainly 3 times for emphasis, and it also 3 times repeats Harinam, the holy name of the Lord, just to make common people understand. The use of the word kevala only prohibits all other processes such as cultivation of knowledge, practice of mystic yoga, and performance of austerities and fruitive activities. This verse clearly states that anyone who accepts any other path cannot be delivered. This is the reason for the triple repetition, nothing else, nothing else, nothing else, which emphasizes the real process of self-realization. Trina hoite nichahana sadalabenam apani nirabhimani anye diveman. To chant the holy name always, one should be humbler than the grass in the street and devoid of all desire for personal honor. But one should offer others all respectful obeisances. A devotee engaged in chanting the holy name of the Lord should practice forbearance like that of a tree. Even if rebuked or chastised, he should not say anything to others to retaliate. Yeah. I mean, sometimes it could be the devotee's service to kind of protect their reputation in order to do their service. There is examples of that, but that's different than because I'm attached to looking good and being right, then I need to attack you back. That becomes material. Yeah. But sometimes, like if someone's spreading lies and to do, like even Lord Chaitanya taking sannyas, Lord Chaitanya thought he has a vitally important mission to transform the planet. And at least at that time, 500 some years ago, if he took sannyas, people would respect him more and listen to what he had to say. It wasn't about him wanting honor. Hatile hataroyena kichuna bolaya shuka iya mare tabu jalana magaya. For even if one cuts a tree, it never protests, nor even if it is drying up and dying, does it ask anyone for water. Thus, a Vaishnav should not ask anything from anyone else. If someone gives him something without being asked, he should accept it. But if nothing comes, a Vaishnav should be satisfied to eat whatever vegetables and fruits are easily available. Sadhanam la ibiyata labhete santosh, eta achara kare bhakti dharma posh. One should strictly follow the principle of always chanting the holy name, and one should be satisfied with whatever he gets easily. Such devotional behavior solidly maintains one's devotional service. Trnad Api sunichena ture vasahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadari. One who thinks himself lower than the grass, who is more tolerant than a tree, and who does not expect personal honor, yet is always prepared to give all respect to others, can very easily always chant the holy name of the Lord. Ordvabahu kare kahon shuna sarva loka, nama sutre ganti para kante e shloka. So this is Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami writing. Raising my hands, I declare, everyone please hear me, string this verse on the thread of the holy name and wear it on your neck for continuous remembrance. Such metaphorical poetic imagery. But this verse, the one we're studying today, Trnad Api sunichena ture vasahishnuna, string it on the thread of the holy name. Please string this verse on the thread of the holy name and wear it on your neck for continuous remembrance. Many devotees, they'll put this verse on paper and put it in a little locket and wear it around their neck, following this exclamation. Many devotees do that, actually. Prabhu Agyaya Kara E Shloka Acharan Avashya Paibe Tabe Shri Krishna Charan. One must strictly follow the principles given by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this verse. If one simply follows in the footsteps of Lord Chaitanya and the Goswamis, certainly he will achieve the ultimate goal of life, the lotus feet of Shri Krishna. Tabe Prabhu Shri Vasera Grihe Nirantar Vatre Sankirtana Koila Eka Sambatsar. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu regularly led congregational chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra in the house of Srivas Thakur every night for 1 full year. Kapata Dia Kirtan Kare Parama Avesh Pashandi Hasite Aise Napaya Pravesh. This ecstatic chanting was performed with the doors closed so that non-believers who came to make fun could not gain entrance. Okay, I'll pause there. Hare Krishna, Bhaktin Kelly and Bhaktin Rosa. Thanks for hearing Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. If I welcome any sharing, comments, questions, or realizations at this time. Just so that you're aware, this evening, 6 to 9 p.m. I wouldn't be surprised if we go past 9 with the prasadam, but starting at 6 p.m. we'll have an evening Gaura Purnima celebration. Lord Chaitanya actually appeared at moonrise here on, at least North Florida moon rises around 7:44, 7:45. So we're planning to offer the feast at about that time. And so we'll start with kirtan, and then around 6:30, 6:40, will be class and discussion. The class will be led by a tag team of Nalini Kant and Naveen Krishna Prabhus. They'll be leading class and discussion. Then more kirtan and offering the boga. We offer boga. Boga means to enjoy. So we don't eat boga because we're not the enjoyers. We honor prasadam. We offer boga to Krishna and he enjoys. And we get the remnants, and that's Krishna prasadam.
I don't have a question, more of a wondering, if that's okay.
Sure.
I appreciate it. Tolerance is a word that has my attention, and as I was thinking about how to word this, like it keeps going. So I feel I struggle with tolerance, and I think about things like we teach people how to treat us.
We train people how to we train people how to treat us, yes.
And in that, I think about like boundary setting, and it's just something that I struggle with, and what that looks like is when I sense taking, I sense a vibe of taking, I feel myself become defensive internally, like a restricting and a constraining of I'm being requested more of than I've offered, or something like that. And being tolerant to compassionately respond, and in such a response, it does wind up like creating boundaries, or cutting things off before things can go too far and things like that. But still, I think I just struggle with the tact. Is there anything you want to say about that?
Struggle with what?
Tact.
Tact?
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
I could be too soft, or I could be too cutting.
Right, but that's perfect moderation is challenging. Yeah. That's it. So there's tamas and rajas, and sattva is generally the response that requires the hard internal work. Krishna addresses this. We won't be surprised here. Bhagavad Gita talks about sattvic communication. Anudbegam karam vakyam Sacham Priyahinam Chaya Svajaya Basanam Chaiva Vanmantapuchite. Krishna says, because he talks about like dozens of areas of life and what it looks like in tamas and rajas and sattva and in shuddha-sattva, pure transcendence. So he talks about speech, he talks about charity. We can give charity in a way that's tamasic, rajasic, sattvic, or transcendental. We can seek happiness in a way, we can seek happiness in a way that's tamasic. My happiness is from sleeping and getting intoxicated. Okay, it's tamasic. There's rajasic happiness, sattvic, transcendental, every area of life. So Krishna says, so sattvic speech, it's truthful, and beneficial, and it's aligned with Siddhanta, it's aligned with the absolute truth. So, right, so, common sayings we use a lot. If we're only willing to do what's easy, life will be hard. If we're ready to do what's hard, life will be easy. Just to give credit, I got that from Harv Eker, author of Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. And I use that so much. Right, so it can be relatively easy to just, I won't say anything because I don't, but it's not like sattvic, I'm choosing to be silent out of tolerance. Just, it's controlled by fear. I don't want to risk disapproval. What will people think of me if I speak up? Tamasic, easy, and then life's hard because we're out of integrity. And then, okay, so to be courageously truthful, and to be courageously truthful increases it in a way that's also where we're truly 100% giving our sincere effort in what we express to be beneficial. We're not trying to hurt or damage. We're truly coming from a caring place and doing our 100% sincere best to communicate. We might communicate something that's not pleasant for someone to hear, but we're not being unpleasant, right? So someone might not agree, but we're not being disagreeable, right? So yeah, you matter, as do I. So we're communicating in a way that's not belittling, not damaging, truly intended to be win-win. And so for me, that requires going deep inside myself to have the courage to express and express in a way where it's not just like, I felt attacked, so I'm going to hurt you back. So, and to do it, not just from like material empathy and compassion and care, like, sattva communication. It's courageous and considerate, powerful and bold, and sensitive and caring, and truly in service to self-realization for everyone involved. So yeah, so cultivating sattvic qualities in it is in itself virtuous, and it's the sweet platform for embracing Krishna consciousness, and from wherever we're at. Savaya Pumsam Pravo Dharmo Yato Bhaktirat Hokshaje Ayatukya Pratyataya Yatma Suprasidati. From wherever we're at, maybe I'm in Rajas, Tamas, I need to come to sattva before I can chant Hare Krishna. No, from wherever we're at, Krishna consciousness is a transcendental experience and consciousness and process. It's not dependent on first come to sattva. So if wherever we're at, we can choose bhakti, choose kirtan, and then naturally our modes rise and we come to sattva. And then, of course, we can get into skills, but we're not going to go into skills here. We're looking at the consciousness of the process. We come to sattva, then naturally we're going to be boldly courageous in communicating in a spirit of service and in a way that's uncompromised and caring. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Kelly and Rosa. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
Lord Chaitanya ki.
Jai.
Sri Gaura Purnima ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol.
Hare Bo, Hare Krishna.
Wow.